Welcome to the Nerdiverse. Go ahead, sit and listen to the masters, the old heads, talk about what you love the most. Video games, comics, movies, and everything you need to maintain your week. Got the knowledge that's straight out the ether. Gonna need a drink and have to take a seat to expand your mind and listen to the speaker. Mike and the squad's gonna give you what you need. Please send in a question, come and get some answers, learn a couple lessons from the masters with the special guests. We got the green lanterns glowing on their chest. Yes, please sit back and relax, cause we're gonna hit you with them stone cold facts and allow me to be the very first to welcome you to the masters of the Nerdiverse. Welcome to Masters of the Nerdiverse, where we always have set sights to show you. You can find this Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan of a podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker, SoundCloud, YouTube, iHeartRadio, and Google Play. I'm, of course, your host, Mike G. And with me, as always, is my supercalifragilisticexpialidocious of a co-host.
Winter Sturdivant, what up in the house?
Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun. You are the ESPN. What? Like, are you doing? Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that?
That's the Muppet. That's Marge doing. Marge.
Why is Marge singing? Yeah. Is that an episode I didn't catch, man?
It's fanfic. Okay.
Okay, that works. You know, fanfic is funnier than the regular Simpsons stuff lately, so.
Wayo.
We can let that rock. How you been, man? What you doing, man? What you doing over there?
Well,
winter level stuff.
Winter level stuff? Well,
yeah.
I am now officially a diabetic.
Oh,
no. And I had pancreatitis.
Oh, dude. Man, we gotta save Winter Fund, like a Save Ferris, man. We gotta pull the money together. We're gonna get the ghost of Whitney Houston to sing at your charity rally, dude.
Now bring you joy. That's all I know.
Damn, you just mixed two songs the most horrible way possible. What was that?
That's not the same song. Anyway,
you're just like, and I bring you joy. You finished the verse. I love it. But man, you getting a handle on your current medical situations, man? You got it handled?
Yeah, things are. It was a wake up call. So now it's losing some weight.
Yeah, join the club, man. Yeah,
and I already got 20 pounds thanks to the hospital.
Cool, man. What, they clear out your system, dude?
They cleared out my system because by sticking a tube down my throat and just feeding me broth, water, and Jell-O.
Yeah, man. Hospital food. It's like hospital food's bad already, but when you have stomach issues, they give you nothing. Right. They give you water. They give you broth. You might get some Jell-O. You maybe get some Jell-O like once a day. You're just in there hungry all day watching bad TV in an uncomfortable bed. It's not a good look, man.
Well, I caught up on Wendy Williams. How you doing?
How you doing? I love Wendy Williams, man. I have an unhealthy fixation with Wendy Williams.
Or I would have Cops on, and then I'd fall asleep, and then my mom changed it to The Talk. So,
nice. You know when mom gets hold of the controller, it's game over, dude. You're just like, oh, mom, what do you got?
Wait, am I thinking? Watching? I'm thinking it's The Real. That's the one I'm thinking of.
I haven't been able to watch daytime TV since like my 20s. I don't know what's hip anymore, dude. What's hip?
Well, I cover the nerd culture of daytime television.
There you go. That is a section of the Nerdiverse because Wendy Williams has to be here somewhere with her top heavy.
She's our Thanos.
She is Thanos. She has the infinity legs. They're so small but so powerful.
Uh-huh. So, have you seen that movie?
Yeah. I guess we can go into my week. I didn't really do much but watch that. I saw it twice. No spoilers until the next one comes out. I will say I loved it just because it dared to do what I thought it would do. And I'm probably going to talk more about it later in other stuff. Maybe I want to do a review like after the fact, once everything's kind of calmed down. But as a comic book fan, as a Thanos fan, I loved it. I super loved it. I love the beginning, middle, end, and it sets up a lot of questions that your casual viewer is not going to know the answer to. And I really think that people should check it out with an open mind, and just don't bring, if you have little kids, maybe don't bring it to this movie. Like little kids, like maybe 0 to like 5, they're not going to be able to handle it because there's some pretty rough spots. And I don't mean like in regards to vulgarity or violence. Just take my word for it. Maybe leave little sanctity or little Dylon at the house for this one, because it may break their little, it may break their little brain, you know? So that's my only suggestion. I'll talk about it more. I'll talk about more spoilery stuff on different things, but I liked it. Liked it a lot. Saw it twice. May go see it a third time just to close the loop, just so I can catch everything I missed. But it's a Marvel movie. It's a good Marvel movie. Is it my favorite? No. That's still kind of in between Black Panther and the Winter Soldier. It's a solid 2 or 3. Honestly, it's really, 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 really good. Yeah.
I read the plot line of it on Wikipedia, and it sounded good.
Yeah, it's super crazy, man. Like, it's super nuts, and the way they handle the juggling of all the characters is quite superb, because anybody else would have mishandled it. They would have either given you feast or famine, and this has the perfect little balance. It's not a perfect movie, don't get me wrong. It has its flaws, but for an action movie, for a Marvel movie, it gives you more to chew on than what you walked into the theater thinking. And I'll just leave it at this. There's a perfect example of what this movie is. So at my local theater, there's an elevator, or escalator rather. One way going up for people who haven't seen the movie, and one way going down for people who have seen the movie. So we're going down, and a whole big family's going up. They had the dad with the kids and the popcorn. They're like, "Hey man, did you see the movie?" They're asking somebody else. And the guy's like, "Yeah, I saw it." And the guy's like, "Hey man, why you sound so sad, dude? Like, was it good?" He's like, "Yeah." He was like, "But you sound bored. Was it boring?" No. They're just so shell-shocked after the movie. And I was like, that is awesome, dude. Like, make people think, man. That's what, be gutsy about these movies. And this movie does that. You know what I mean?
I'm worried. I'm worried that in the sequel to this, they'll do two things. In the sequel, they'll do like a reverse sort of thing.
They're going to kind of have to. That's why I say don't bring your kids, because kids won't understand the hypocrisy of film. You know what I mean? Or franchises, or, you know, like, but as an adult, I'm like, of course they're going to have to walk this back some kind of way, you know, because it's too crazy. But if they don't, and they find a way to work around it, then even more power to them. I'm just like, because if they can figure that out without doing the obvious thing, then I'm just like, man, these writers are insane, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the second part is that they have other movies coming out. So they have Ant-Man and Who Cares versus Who Cares coming out. And is this set pre-Infinity War? Or
both of the movies that are coming out, like Ant-Man and the Wasp and Captain Marvel, are both set prior to Infinity War. So they won't affect or be in a post-Infinity War atmosphere. You know what I mean? So it doesn't, even seeing those movies won't help you. It may give you some better understanding of how things led up to this. I'm guessing, but we all have to wait until Infinity War 2 or whatever it's going to be called to kind of get the real idea of where Marvel's going after this. Cause for what it seems like, it looks like it's an end game, man. It looks like this is it for the stories we've been told so far. And that's very brave for a company that's on a roll to just say, hey, we're going to shut down shop. and never make another Marvel movie again, which is impossible. But it would be the ultimate mic drop. You know what I mean? Just say this is it.
Or this is finally how they're going to combine X-Men into the universe.
There's a lot of funky stuff going on with that, and I guess that'd be a good segue into the news. Pretty much Comcast has put in and this is breaking news, Comcast has put in a cash bid to just buy Fox under Disney. Under Disney's coattails. They're like trying to say, we'll give you $60 billion, $61 billion cash right now for Fox. And Disney's like, Disney's ignoring it. You know what I mean? They're like, whatever. And it's money talks. So everybody's kind of like, ooh, what's going to happen? And my thing is it reminds me of the guy who tries to steal someone's girlfriend who has the nice car and all the money and the flashiness, but the girl's already in love. Yeah. You know what I mean? She's already with this guy. She's already in love. So they're not worried about him, and him and his flashy car can go somewhere else. That's kind of like, I think how Fox has already been courted by Disney. Probably have been in many talks with them. And here's this annoying kid trying to mix things up, you know, and try to disrupt things from going on the way they will. And it may work. I mean, money talks. I mean, board of directors want their moolah and their secondary houses and stuff. But it's a bit of a worry. It's like, will this not go through? And here's the thing, just to clear things up. If Comcast was to buy 20th Century Fox, they will not get the X-Men and the Fantastic Four. It will revert back to Disney or Marvel for this sake. Because the deal that was struck with Fox is for Fox. And once Fox is absorbed into, let's say, Comcast, then Fox no longer exists, so to speak. Right? So then it'll be a longer legal battle. There'll be a lot more paperwork. But eventually, the two things that we want, which is X-Men and Fantastic Four and everything that's tied into that, will go back to Marvel if the worst case scenario happens. Best case scenario, Disney just flat out buys Fox. Everything goes smoothly, and Avengers 4 can be the lead-in into an X-Men Fantastic Four inhabited MCU, which in my case would be awesome because I just want Doctor Doom. I don't care how any of this shakes out. I just want Doctor Doom.
I just want Doctor Doom. So how much did Walt Disney pay for Fox in the
They offered like $60 billion for all of 21st Century Fox is what Walt Disney himself offered.
And Comcast is like, I'll give you $60 billion right now.
Cash. Like now. Because I'm sure there's all types of like investors and subsidiaries and banks and all types of stuff tied in with the Disney deal to make it work, right? And Fox and Comcast is like, we'll just give you money. Forget all that. But the problem is that they're trying to do this during a time where the U.S. government has to approve this merger because it's so big that it may be considered a monopoly on the industry.
Yeah.
So no business can own 60% of the market. You know what I mean? And the math has to be done to figure out if Disney does buy Fox, will that in turn be 60% of the film industry? And if it is, they can't do it. If it's not, they can. The math's already been done, I'm sure, and it's not, but it still has to go through Congress and go through the snail mail of bureaucracy. And in this pocket of time, Comcast is trying to sneak in and quell the deal. You know what I mean? And throw their hat in. And with Comcast, they're not as big as Walt Disney, or own as many properties as Walt Disney, or Marvel, or Star Wars. So I don't even think a monopoly would even be in the question. I don't think.
Right.
So it would just be a clean deal. So that's another thing going for Comcast, which makes it even scarier. So it's like, we'll see. Like, Disney's not taking it seriously. They're not even commenting on it. They're just like, this, we're just going to do what we got to do. And we trust that Fox will do what they said they would do. But it's a whole year, like, until all this irons out. Yeah. So, man, there's plenty of room for things to fall apart. You know what I mean? So we'll have to see.
When things fall
Listen
apart.
to that album, though, by the way. The Roots. Things Fall Apart. Listen to it.
When Things Fall... Oh, I was thinking of the book, When Things Fall Apart.
Man.
You should read that book, When Things Fall Apart, by Chinua Achebe.
Read that shit.
Okay.
Speaking of books, Guillermo del Toro is going to be co-writing and producing a movie based on a series of books called Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. Are you familiar with these books by any chance?
Yes, I'm familiar.
Okay, I'm going to let you take this one. Explain to me what these books are.
So, as a kid, you're not allowed. I was not allowed to read a lot of different types of books.
Right.
We'll say. So then, or like I had to go to the kids' library section, and there was very little like stuff for kids that I would have liked. But then, out in the corner of my eye, I saw Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. It had like a black and white, like ink style graphic on it. I'm like, ooh, I'll read this. And then it like blew my mind.
Nice. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Are you excited that Guillermo del Toro is going to be adapting these stories?
Well, my mind's going, do we really need it?
Yeah. Right?
Do we really?
Yeah, that's a legitimate response, right? Oh, man.
Like, instead of a movie, why don't you just do an HBO TV series? Boom. You can do all the stories and have a different director for each episode.
What if they do something like that for Netflix? Would you like a Netflix series of this? Like, maybe like a 10, 12 episode Netflix series?
Yeah, I would like Netflix to actually do it. I could watch a Netflix series on it, but it's just Netflix does everything.
So it's like,
so I gotta look out for the other.
Yeah, but it's like anywhere else, I wouldn't trust it. You know, like Hulu, I think would water it down. You know what I mean? And like, who else is there? But I think Cinemax, not Fox, HBO, Stars. You know what I mean? I would trust it maybe to Cinemax, I think, which is, I think Stars now. I would trust it to maybe HBO or Showtime. Maybe Showtime. Right. Showtime did Dexter, right? Yeah.
Right.
They're not afraid. And Showtime did The Masters of Horror, which is my favorite anthology.
And Penny Dreadful.
So they're not afraid to show a little bit of blood, you know? Right. And Guillermo del Toro can do no wrong now. Oscar Award winner Guillermo del Toro. So I say more power to him. I mean, when I was a kid, my mom didn't know it, but I rented out Silence of the Lambs from our library and read that in the third grade, cover to cover. And the teacher my teacher caught me, and it was reading time, and everybody pulled out The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and all their different books. And I pull out Silence of the Lambs, and my teacher's like, "Yeah, we got to talk to your mom about this." And I had a parent-teacher conference. And she called herself, "Your son is reading inappropriate material." And we were kind of concerned on what whoop-de-whoop. And my mom was like, "What reading level do you need to be to understand this book?" She was like, maybe like a 6th or 7th grade reading level. It's like my third grade son is reading at a 7th grade reading level. What's the problem? Like, but it's about people being skinned and cannibalism. And it's like, "Michael, do you want to eat anybody?" I was like, "Ew, no." She's like, "It's fine." And that was it.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Santa Clarita Diet
Part 2. My eyes turned into the
Michael.
My eyes turned into the cat eyes from like Thriller. Dun, 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 dun. I turned to the camera. But yeah, man, I graduated from that. Then I started reading Stephen King's anthology, Nightmares and Dreamscapes, which was my version of Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. I read that as a kid and it blew my mind. Couldn't imagine that. But I'm super looking forward to Guillermo's rendition of stuff because he's such a creative guy. I love Guillermo del Toro. He can do no wrong, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's gonna look good. I can say.
Oh yeah, it's gonna look beautiful, and it's gonna be very flowery, and haunting, and all the good Guillermo style stuff that he likes to do. Oh man, we're talking about ownerships and stuff like that, and it kind of leads into another story that Hasbro, the company that owns G.I. Joe and Battleship and just old school toy company, they just flat out purchased the rights to the Power Rangers. Ooh. So there's a couple of good things about this. One, it's out of the hands of Han Saban, who's literally one of the worst people on the planet. So thank all deities for that. Yeah. Just that alone. Cause this guy, Han Saban, with anything that even resembled, a tokusatsu or a kind of like a Power Ranger like group, like Masked Rider or anything like that, Kamen Rider in Japan, you would just sue him. It's too close to Power Rangers. Power Rangers is mine. And it shut down a lot of good games. It shut down a lot of good comics, animes, movies. He was a scourge. If you had any kind of color coordinated heroes that were in a team, Han Saban would go after you.
So what was his thought about Mobile Suit Gundam?
Because that's Mecha. Like, he couldn't really say anything about Mecha because Mecha came before him. He's saying that he's the grandfather of the Tokusatsu Sentai Ranger Earth, but it's not the case. I mean, there was stuff like that before Power Rangers came and blew up the Earth. You know what I mean?
What's the guy I'm thinking? Ultraman.
He's considered Tokusatsu because he's kind of like a posing, I am a hero for justice, and he makes like a triangle with his hands and lights come out and shit. So like Ultraman would be considered that. Kashan or Kashurn is another anime that's amazing. Tekkaman, it's very, very Eastern stuff. And here's this guy.
What about the Eddie Murphy movie where he had a bunch of people?
What?
In him?
Which? You mean Nutty Professor?
No, Pluto Nash. No, Pluto. I think it's like he was he had like a bunch of little people controlling him, and he was like a robot. Kind of like at the end of all the Power Ranger episodes where they formed together. They had like a cockpit.
That counts. And you just thought of the name of the episode. Eddie Murphy says it, I'll form the head. So like Voltron. Eddie Murphy. Yeah. Eddie Murphy's the head of Voltron. What's another one? What's that other one? Gotcha Man. I can't remember the American name off the top of my head. But yeah, Hasbro bought the rights to Power Rangers. So, Power Rangers hopefully will be in better hands. Maybe we'll get even a sequel to that Power Rangers movie, which I liked. I unironically liked the recent Power Rangers film. And it was just a little slow. It was just really slow. And very, very, very marketing heavy, which I didn't like. Way too marketing heavy. Like, I get it. Krispy Kreme. I get it. Jeez Louise. It made me want Krispy Kreme, though.
Yeah, I would have liked it if they gave you like a Krispy Kreme every time you saw the movie.
One guy just gets diabetes because he saw the movie like 70 times. I've gotten every color coordination every day for the last 6 months. How you feeling? Not great. Not great. Everything tastes like sugar now. Like, awesome. Oh, man. Speaking of crazy news, did you hear about the DC Universe streaming service? I really wanted to talk about this.
No.
So DC's been really quiet since the failure of Justice League, right? They ain't said nothing. Been very, very quiet on it.
Supposed failure. It still made
in comparison to what the movie cost and the marketing, it was a dud. Unfortunately, because I kind of liked the Justice League movie, unironically. Again, so out of nowhere, DC Warner Brothers announces that they're opening a new streaming service called the DC Universe. And in this service, there's going to be service-specific content that are only going to be shown on this streaming service. So, for a lot of Young Justice fans out there, the cartoon that was so good on Cartoon Network, the third season of Young Justice is coming back on this streaming service, which may be enough to at least have it for a month. I kind of want to see Young Justice, so I may get it just to check it out. Also, the Titans live action show that they've been working on for the past year is going to be exclusively on this streaming service. Other shows they've mentioned coming to the service is like a standalone Harley Quinn cartoon. They've mentioned a Swamp Thing, kind of ran by the guy who does all the Insidious movies. I forget his name. He's actually directing Aquaman as well. So James Wan, thank
James
you.
Wan.
So he's going to be the showrunner for the Swamp Thing. I don't know if it's live action or cartoon. With James Wan running it, it's probably going to be live action. And that alone has me intrigued because I love me some Swamp Thing. So it's just very fascinating, like the direction they're going. They're like, okay, our strength isn't TV, isn't film. It's obviously not our strength. Our strength is television production. How do we capitalize on this? Let's just make a streaming service and make people pay us money to watch it.
Now, do you think that this is going to be like a trend, like say 5 years into the future? Because it used to be that you would get a streaming service and you would pay for it for the year and you would stick to one individual one, or like you would have multiple ones. But now it's like, I've noticed myself doing this. Like I'll do Hulu for a couple of months and then I'll switch over to Netflix for a couple of months. And then I'll do like Amazon Prime. I might do Shudder for a second.
Yeah.
And it just seems like now it's become, instead of like one streaming service that you're loyal to, you have like a Skittle assortment of different ones that you go to.
I hate to say it because I like the idea of having a one-stop shop place that I can watch everything, but this is like the slow death of Netflix. You know what I mean? Everybody wants to do their own thing, and it's going to be in television. In the future, it's going to be a la carte. You know what I mean? Have the Fox, or I'm sorry, that's bad taste. Disney's doing it. They're making the Disney Channel where all of their stuff's going to be found on that channel specifically, like Star Wars, all of Marvel, all the Disney films are going to be on one streaming service. CBS already has their own streaming service. Fox has a streaming service. So I think, WWE was like one of the first ones to start the WWE network. So I think in the future, it's really going to be like, it's going to be kind of like, you ever heard of Sling TV? Yeah, where it's like, here's this bundle, and this bundle carries these 4 streaming services, and you pay us a flat fee a month. Or if you want the premium, you'll do these streaming services plus the movie channels and let's say the sports channels. And that'll be a bundle. So I think that's where cable's going, and that's where TV is going. There's always going to be bunny ears, television, CBS, ABC, Fox. But for more specific content, I think that companies are getting wise, and they're going to have the Columbia network in the Paramount network, the 20th century. I keep trying to say 20th Century Fox, the Universal network. You know what I mean? I think that's something we have to look forward to, unfortunately, because Netflix was so successful and everybody's pulling out of it now to create their own streaming service. Like, we can do that. We can charge people $10 a month to watch our content. And it's just, it's death by 1,000 cuts. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't want to do it. Like, I don't want to get the DC universe, but I'm going to get it because I want to check it out. And if it's not worth it, I'm going to cut it because I just want to see what else is on there. Are they going to put old episodes of Batman the Animated Series?
Like I would spend $1.99 to have a live stream of Kanye West of what he's doing. I would spend $2.99 after the 30-day free trial. Just to see what's going on in his mind, just like what his day looks like. Did you watch the TMZ?
Yes,
craziness?
I did.
Yeah, that's right. You live. You're in LA.
TMZ, they're outside my house swarming right now to get my picture.
Yeah,
but I'll say this about that whole nonsense is, I'm happy Van from TMZ was there to straighten that brother out. And kind of tell him about himself, because I don't think Kanye has anybody in his squad to do that for him. Kim ain't telling him nothing, man. Kim is so fascinated with her own world. She's not worried. She's not even listening to this dude, man. He's white noise, dude. Like, literally. And Van was like, he told him about himself, and Kanye had to sit there and be like, oh, I see. And that's what happens when the emperor finds out that his new clothes are nothing. It's like,
yeah. Well, it's like you're making it sound like it was an enlightening
I want to hope
moment
so.
for him. but it, I
want
don't
to
think
hope
it
that
was.
this man who literally has not
Yeah.
been told no since Graduation Day, which is his album, that someone actually talked to him like a human, and he just was like, maybe I'm full of shit. You know, like I hope he had some level of epiphany before he got sucked back into his world and all of his ass kissers told him, no, man, he tripping. No, you know, like I hope a little bit of that broke through to him, that you're an idiot. You can't just say what you want. You can't just say crazy stuff, whatever you want. We all know you went a sunken place, bro, but don't try to pull us all down with you. Kids are listening to you, you know, like, and they'll go through life thinking that. So you just gotta be real careful with what you say, you know.
Meanwhile, Lil Pump is like, I mean, yeah, kids are listening to him, but
They're also listening to Lil Xan.
A lot.
The future is destroyed, dog. I'm moving on to the next subject. When I think about the future, my nihilistic side comes out, and I just start getting ultra depressed.
Yeah. Next subject, Bill Cosby. What did you think about the verdict?
I'll say real quick, Bill Cosby already said he did it, so whatever. Yeah, he had confessed to it like a while ago. Yeah, man, look it up, dude.
No,
that's his power.
Look it up. This is going to turn into like a autism vaccination.
MK Ultra kind of podcast. No, man. We're not talking about that stuff, man.
He already confessed.
He confessed on the Cosby Show. Real quick, because no one cares but me, but tenacious-d is doing a follow-up from Pick a Destiny. I don't know what this is. I don't know if it's a movie. I'm thinking it's a movie. It's got to be. I love me some Tenacious-D. So I'm really hyped for that. Whatever it is. It's just, I love me some Kyle Gass and Jables. KG and Jables. And I can sing. Yeah. You're
out of high school, right?
I can literally sing the album right now. The first album. Not Pick a Destiny and not Rise of the Phoenix. Because I love the first album. I kind of like Pick a Destiny, and I don't like Rise of the Phoenix. I just ignored that album. But Pick a Destiny is pretty good, but the first one is amazing. I could sing Leave for you if you want, but I won't because we're recording. But listen to some Tenacious-D. Listen to Tribute. Change your damn life.
Don't. Like, I like Tenacious-D more than Spinal Tap.
But not as much as Crucial Taunt, though. Crucial Taunt.
I don't know.
That was Tia Carrere's band in Wayne's World.
Oh,
that was talk about pulling knowledge right out of my ass.
Yeah.
Speaking of deep cuts,
deep cut nowadays.
Got to put your ankle in it.
At the deep cut.
Speaking of things being pulled out of asses, there's a rumor that Jamie Foxx was offered the role for Spawn.
Will he take it?
No, I hope he doesn't.
Maybe.
Oh, Jamie.
I see. Michael B. Jordan will be.
Michael B. Jordan's a better pick than Jamie Foxx.
Yeah. Well, Jamie Foxx would turn Spawn into like a singing, like Ray Charles.
Don't get me started. Like he killed it as Ray Charles. I don't know why he killed it. He was a great role for him. But I don't see Jamie Foxx has a very specific face. You know what I mean? And him as Electro just soured me on him being in anything superhero-y. You know, you were Electro, bro. Let that be it, man.
Right.
Like, unless some other brother.
Well, this could be a Ryan Reynolds effect sort of thing. He was Green Lantern, and he was Deadpool 1.0.
I mean, like he's not part. I mean, we know he's not really unpartial to makeup because that Electro makeup was nuts. So I don't see him having a problem being all scarred up as Al Simmons, and he can put on the muscle. It would take a lot, dude. It would be like, it's like when people first didn't think Heath Ledger was going to make a good Joker, and then he blew everybody's ass out because he was the best ever. It would take that kind of performance from a movie that's being made on a shoestring budget by Todd McFarlane out of his own pocket. You know what I mean? It's like, I just don't see it happening. Like, Jamie would be the most expensive thing on set. You know, like, Uh,
All right, we'll just replace him with
no,
Denzel
Denzel is always
Washington. There you
Bishop.
go.
He's Bishop from the X-Men. Denzel's like, I fight for the future. Assassin. What? Assassin.
Or
Larry
Lawrence
Fishburne. No, he's already Morpheus, bro. And he's going to be playing Goliath in Ant-Man and the Wasp. So he's already taken. He's finished.
Okay.
Just get Chadwick Boseman.
Or they could go rogue.
Can you imagine
hire a white guy?
Oh, Tom Cruise is Spawn.
It would be the other
Liam Hemsworth. It would be the worst
brother.
movie ever. Albert Simmons. Yeah. I'm Spawn,
I'm Spawn now, mate.
I got powers to shoot out my fingers. I'm going to give you a nice, good rogering. It is a means to summon us. Sorry, I had to get that on my system. So apparently...
That would be a good crossover, Spawn and Hellraiser.
Oh yeah, man. Spawn would win, but Hellraiser would not lose.
Written by Clive Barker and Alan Moore. They get married and just start writing books together. Okay.
Yeah, man. Moving on. They have their baby at Stonehenge. Apparently there was like this 90s Hulk movie that was almost made out of pure practical effects, and it looks insane, dude. Like, this just came out. Like, a bunch of stills just came out. Apparently, back in the 90s, they were going to make a weird Hulk movie where Bruce Banner is in jail, and he's doing experiments on the prison inmates that turn them into giant bugs. It was supposed to be like a horror movie. But what tripped me out is that, like, Stan Winston Studios, the guys who did Jurassic Park and Alien and Predator and Pumpkinhead and Congo and just like godlike practical effects guys, were building a life-size Hulk out of armor, out of metal and rubber, and it looks so nuts. It looks insane, and there's like tons of pictures of it. And it's like, it just doesn't look like it would work. Like, it looks like a statue. But see it, like, how would it move in motion? Like, there's no video of it, just pictures. And I'm like, how did this go under the radar for so long? It must have just been sitting in it must have been just sitting in some production factory in like a box, and nobody like even looked at it for years. Cause I mean, in Hollywood, so many of these movies just kind of go under the radar and just, they birth and then they die. Nobody even knew they were being made. That go really far into production. You know what I mean? I think one of the Spider-Mans, the Spider-Man that was going to be directed by James Cameron and starring Leonardo DiCaprio, was pretty far in production, I think. And thank goodness we didn't get that. Ooh, can you imagine?
It's up there with the Kevin Smith Superman, right?
Yeah. I love that. I love that story. Kevin Smith's Superman is Hollywood gold.
It's Hollywood silver.
It's the best story ever. It's Hollywood. It's Hollywood bronze. Okay, it's pewter. He wanted a giant spider in Superman, and Kevin Smith was like, that makes no sense whatsoever. And the guy ended up putting the giant spider in Wild West, where it made no sense whatsoever.
Don't be talking about Wild West.
What a clown, dude.
I like it.
What about the guy who had the xylophone for an ear and his earwax poured out of it like snot?
Weird West is what it's called. That's what it's supposed to. That type of style. It's like, if we can. All right, stop.
What about their weird
movie? You're ruining a childhood dream.
Okay, fair. Okay, I don't want to ruin your childhood, so I'm not going to do that. I'm not that kind of guy. There's another bit of news I wanted to bring up, but it's really not that important. It's just SNK maybe making a mini arcade, kind of like Nintendo Mini has 40 plus SNK games like Metal Slug and King of Fighters. I'm the only person who cares. If you guys want to check out what it looks like, it's online. The website I found it on was Destructoid, so check them out. It's really old person nerd stuff. So on that note, my friend,
Let's do it.
Are you looking to answer some questions? If you want to ask us a question or make a comment or yell at me or say that my head looks shaped funny, you can send all of that to mastersofthenerdiversecast@gmail.com. That is mastersofthenerdiversecast@gmail.com. First question. Is there a band or musician that's musical direction went in a direction that you just hated and it made you not like the band/musician anymore?
There's a couple of bands. The first one that's come to mind is Wolf Mother.
Oh yeah, that first album was so good.
The first album is like early 2000s gold. It's like Joker and the Thief within every skateboard video and video game out there. And then you still have, like, I remember listening to the CD over and over again. But then the next album, they add like there's like new personnel into the band. He added new guitarists, and then he added like keyboardists and all this other stuff. It just got too muddy sounding. And then it's like it went downhill from there with like different band members coming in and out. And when you have different band members, it's like the style of the band changes really. Sort of thing. It sounds different.
Yeah, man.
I'm trying to think of like another, like a musician specifically that changed their sound that I didn't like.
I'll say one while you're thinking. I kind of turned around on it. It's like when it first happened, I was younger and I just didn't like it. But now I'm like, I dig it. Was Tool. I used to really love Tool. Yeah. I remember seeing the sober video on Beavis and Butthead. Yes, I'm aging myself. And I used to love me some Tool. Like Latterus was a really good album. Loved anything they did for a while. And then they became a Perfect Circle. And I really didn't like a Perfect Circle when I was younger. I really didn't like any of the music. And then they became Pucifer I think it was the other way around. And I just was really upset that I wasn't getting any more Tool. But then after a while, like way later, maybe like a couple of years ago, I just re-examined, the Perfect Circle albums, and it's a lot softer sound. You can tell that there was a different direction with it, and I've grown to like it. But at first I hated it. I was like, this is not, I know the pieces fit. You guys suck now. What is this soft shit? Like I want some hard metal. I was like, okay, it's different. And then Pucifer is like Primus. It's like a completely different sound. It's very nutty, kind of poking fun at itself, musical direction. And I was like, what is the lead singer going through, man? Like, I don't get it. But after a while, I learned to appreciate all three sides of, Maynard, who's the main vocalist of all three bands. And I kind of like it. So it's just it was a weird turnaround for me.
Yeah, I think I found a band, Alice in Chains.
Yeah.
Like there's like a couple of there's actually one middle album that, like the lead singer died, and then they had a new guy come in. And it wasn't really grunge or like alternative metal anymore. It was just like doom metal, if that made sense. It was very weird. But then they returned to form with the Devil Hid Those Bones or whatever their most recent one was. Their most recent one. Yeah. Which I would check out. Check out their song Phantom Limb.
Listen to the whole album and then write your Cthulhu inspired epilogues. Second question. Do you have a favorite practical effect in a movie? Something you saw that just blew your mind, or like Yeah, Dawn
of the Dead, when the guy machetes the other guy's head. that used to I used to think that was so cool as a kid. Tom Savini's character in the movie. Yeah.
When I saw this question, it immediately made me think of John Carpenter's The Thing in the interrogation scene where they're all strapped in.
Oh, the Thing.
And
yeah.
It's not really the creature effect, because the creature effect is nuts, right? The thing gets all squiggly and reverse. It flies up to the roof and sticks to the roof and it's super nuts. But the scene that got me was the blood test, where the blood just popped out of the little petri dish in a split second. That scared the hell out of me as a kid, dude. Like, I was like, wait, it shocked me so hard because like, to quote Guillermo del Toro, it sends you into a state of rhythmic security because the way it's shot. And when it happens, it's just a big boo. And just seeing that, I was like, how did they do that? Like what? Was it reversed? Was it filmed backwards? I mean, was that was it on a string? Like, oh man, that thing broke my brain. And of course, the transformation scene from Werewolf in London stands out as one of the best practical effects.
That's a good one
in movie history. Like, it's still the best werewolf transformation in my opinion, even with all the CG and bullshit. That scene I think it was like to Moon River or something like that, or Blue Moon. It's so nuts. It looks so painful. You know what I mean? And it just sticks out in my head as one of those. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like speaking of, I think someone who doesn't really get talked about that much for practical effects would be Martin Scorsese films. Like the first example in my mind comes to Goodfellas, where you have Ray Liotta's character, Henry, going across the street to the neighbor, and he just starts bashing in the guy's head with a pistol. And you're expecting the camera to pan away, which is like, no, but it's like, you see it, and it's
right?
It looks
and
like
it stays on it.
Hitting the guy.
Like, that's the crazy thing. Like you said, you think that the camera's going to pan away to maybe his wife and have her in horror, but no, it stays on him, and you see the blood slowly start to come out from the hits of his gun, and it's so visceral, and there's no music to it. It just happens, and you're like, holy shit. Exactly, the eyeball scene, right?
Same thing with Casino. Well, no, I'm thinking of when they are hammering the guy's hand in the back. Yeah, like they don't show, like, it doesn't look like
the part, right?
It's a fake hand. That's the thing. It looks like I don't know how they did it.
Man, my thing for Casino was the head in the vice, where they're twisting the vice and the eyeball pops, and they're all like, "Oh shit!" Right? They're all grossed out. Oh yeah, because Scorsese films have really great scenes like that. Or the scene where I don't want to spoil Casino, because if you've never seen it, watch Casino and watch Goodfellas. Jeez, what's wrong with you?
On Netflix now.
On Netflix. Oh man. Okay, I have a gaming preference question. Do you like to burn through your video games, or do you like to play them at a slow pace?
It depends. Like if the video game has a story to it, I don't really buy a lot of games that have stories that much. It's mostly the multiplayer aspects I look for.
Yeah.
But if it's like something like Nathan Drake's blah 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 Crystal Skull sort of stuff, I can probably burn through that story in a day.
Yeah, because a lot of them really are, especially like multiplayers that have forced single players. Like Call of Duty does it sometimes. Titanfall does it a lot, and it's just like, this is how you learn how to play the game. It's pretty much a glorified tutorial. You know, you just kind of burn through it.
Right.
But for me, I like to play a lot of story-driven games like The Witcher and Fallout, and you know what I mean. Recently, God of War, and I kind of like to let it rock. Like, I don't like burning through them. Only reason I burned through God of War is because I didn't want to be spoiled on the ending. Because the internet can't help itself when it comes to spoiling stuff. And the nature of our podcast is I have to be in the know about a few things. And it's like, I don't want to be spoiled on these things, so I'm just going to burn through it. But a game like The Witcher, where you pour 70 hours into it, 60, 100 hours into it. And sometimes I don't want them to end. Like, I still haven't beaten The Witcher 3 all the way. I still have to beat, like, what is it called? Heart and Stone? I think it's the last DLC expansion. I bought it. I never downloaded it. I just didn't want it to end. And maybe like around when Witcher 4 comes out or whatever, I'll beat it just to get back in that Witcher feel. But normally I just don't like beating long games, except for Fallout, because that never ends. I can turn on Fallout 4 right now and go nuts and have a good time. But it's just I like to slow it down. I don't like burning through it unless I absolutely have to, based on getting spoiled, because people just love spoiling shit. Okay. Last question. Is there a piece of media, music, movies, video games, that became uncomfortably real to your life in that moment? Like, you're watching this, like, man, this is too real, man. Like, this is jacking me up. I'm just gonna have to turn this off.
To be honest, I felt Curb Your Enthusiasm
Yeah.
was real to my life. Like, I wouldn't have the same type of arguments, but I would find myself in these situations of, like, social faux pas in my mind that I think are social faux pas, and then just talking about it. And it could be like the chicken and the egg thing came first. But yeah, like Seinfeld, stuff like that. I also found, like, when I first heard of Bill Hicks as a comedian, he came in at a right time for me, and now I don't really listen to him anymore because it's like it doesn't really.
I feel that, man.
Fit.
Like, I have one, and it was when I was going through a really bad breakup, and I watched the movie High Fidelity with Cusack, frickin', and Jack Black, and the movie's so good, and the music is so good, but man, it was way too real, dude. Like, I could not handle that movie at the time. And it's one of my favorite movie soundtracks of all time because it's a bunch of oldies that tie into the story perfectly. And for those who don't know what High Fidelity is, it's pretty much a guy who rates his 5 top 10 breakups of all time. And the whole movie is about him coming to terms with his most recent breakup and seeing that he may be the problem and not the women who broke up with him. It is just, it's such a dark, it's a dark comedy, and it just hit me right in the prejunum, that part that makes you throw up in your stomach. And I was just like, yeah, I'm going to turn this off. I'm just not going to watch this anymore. It's just breaking Mike G's brain. Oh man. Good business. So are you looking forward to anything this week, Winter?
Yeah, just getting back into the swing of things. I still have a bunch of paperwork to fill out for healthcare reasons. I have like a bunch of podcasts I need to catch up on. But besides that, sleep and continuing my work.
Same here. It's just this whole year has been about like aggressive change for me personally. Like, oh, you've been talking about doing this for years. Guess what? You're doing it now. You know what I mean? Like, whether you want to or not. So it's been really about adjustment. And this next week, I'm still getting adjusted to certain new things in my life, certain new ways I need to eat for my own health reasons. There's no movies coming out. There's no games coming out. So I'm just going to just take it easy. I want to start a new segment of the MOTN thing, but I'm not quite sure how to go about it. So I'm going to be toying with that. Maybe you'll see it this week. Maybe you won't. But it's just, I'm just going to try to take it easy this week and, like you, get back into the swing.
Yeah. Take it easy and don't let the sound of your own feet drive you crazy.
Oh man. Any passing thoughts before we close this bad boy out?
Yeah, you may lose and you may win. You never feel
I don't know what to say to that. You got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's where my brain went.
I like how you go to that.
Yeah. What did the dude say? I hate the fucking Eagles, man. I just kicked him out of his cab.
Jeez. Yeah.
Put down the bread.
Put down the bread.
Slow down on the sodas and energy drinks, ladies and gentlemen. That stuff is literally poison.
Although
man, you got to start drinking sparkling water, man. That must be saving my life right now, dude. Sparkling.
I do drink that, but it just doesn't have enough flavor.
Diet sodas is worse for you than regular soda,
baby.
man. It has that aspartame in it, dude. No, aspirin. Don't. Just get you a.
Yes, and Bill Cosby.
You're going to read about it, and then you're going to be like, Mike G is a brilliant artistman. He's a renaissance man of his day and age. If you like this show and you want to support it on a more one-on-one basis, please visit our website, which is mastersofthenerdiversecast.com. There you can listen to old episodes from the very first episode, where it's just me losing my damn mind, to where we are now. You can actually find us on Patreon as well. If you want to throw a couple of ducats our way, it definitely helps with the production of the show. And in a less lucrative and less monetary way to help the show is to leave a like, comment, or subscribe to the way that you're listening to us. May that be through iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker, SoundCloud, YouTube, iHeartRadio, or Google Play. And hopefully Spotify one day within the next 5 years. They deem us worthy. I'm, of course, your host, Mike G.
And I'm your hostess with the mostest, Winter Toastess.
He's the winter solstice, ladies and gentlemen. He's the one-man winter solstice. Winter Sturdivant. And we will always ask you to take that one step beyond.